Okay, we're gonna do key level. So I've got my ends propped to the height I want, and I've set my sample so I know this is what I want and it fits with the case parts. So the first thing you do is give things a tap and find high keys. And what I like to do is with my Post-it note flags, just put a quick flag. I saw more than this. Here's one. Flag the high ones. A little bit. Oh, this isn't supposed to happen for a video where you drop your flags. I know there were more, but I think these were the, I'll do this one here. Right here. And I just happened to grab an orange one instead of red. There's no meaning. And I can put them on the sharps. So I've got my props on the sharps and flag some sharps that are too high. But you get the idea. So first thing with every, oh, that's a really high one. Right here, this one. So the first thing to do is to lower anything that's too high. Don't just leave it. All right, that tweezers of mine, it likes to get lost at every possible junction. So this one, and when you're doing key work, as a point of efficiency, you never have to take the key completely off. You can just let it slide forward. I'm going to remove the punching and remove whatever is underneath it. Put it back on. So you'll notice the little dot on the, when I was at this stage of cleaning the key bed, before I did anything, I put a little dot to orient the punching towards me, because some of the fuzzier punchings, if that orientation changes, the key level changes. So this way, you've got more of a accurate target. So I've done that one right here. That's this one. Let's see what's under it. Remove it. I probably shouldn't do all of these. So let me just go to here for the sake of this video, but you know that if I was doing this whole entire thing, I would make sure that I didn't have any high keys. All right, for the sake of the video, we're gonna ignore those. So I'm gonna get my level stick back out. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this one. I still see the slightest bit of motion. I hope that shows on the video. I'm looking at these two are good. So I'm gonna take their flags off and move them to the side. This one, and I'm actually glad it's here. We've removed everything we can. I'm gonna check again. There's nothing under the punching. There's no dirt on the railing. So now, in order to get this key level, I'm going to need to sand. Actually, there's kind of like gunky stuff. Let me sand that off. But this is the way to lower keys if you've removed. And it doesn't take too much sanding because the spruce of the keys is quite soft. I don't see any more movement. So this key is now low enough. So then, after you're sure that you don't have any high keys, you now look underneath the level stick and evaluate any keys that are low. And for this, I have to take my glasses off. So I'm going to put my glasses here off to the side so I can really take a look. This one is really quite low. I don't know. So usually I might just work with two. So I'm putting in a blue, a 10,000ths. So whatever you put in here, at the balance rail, it raises it twice as much. So if I filled this entire gap and then put it underneath at the balance rail, that key would then be too high. So I'm actually looking to put in a size that's half of what. So here, I'm going to put in green, green, green. And at this point, I'm not working with anything that is that little. That might be a yellow. Okay, what else do we have here? A green. So I think for the video, I'm going to call this good. And also, this is the time that I'm looking also at the angle of the key top, and I'm looking to see if there's any. This one, sometimes they're really, really extreme, and you'll see where one side touches and the other doesn't. Do you see any like that as you're scanning along? But if you do, have that, you would
There's two right here that are a little weird.
let's see where.
Right there.
Okay, perfect. So you can see that this side is higher, that side is lower. So that means this key at the balance rail, I'm going to take my brass pin and tap it. And now, look again. It's better, isn't it? Is it perfect? Or should I do a little more?
I think that one is. I think its neighbor could use a knock.
This one? So we can just find it. It's right here. You know, and when you do this, that looks good.
It's better.
You know, with these keys, there's plenty of spacing, but with some keys, the spacing at the end is so terrible. You're going to have to make some compromises at some points because you don't want to create rubbing at the back of the key in order to get the key level at the front. The other thing I look at too at this point, and it becomes all part of the package picture, is key spacing. Let me move this tape. Like I might say, oh, here, this is narrow and that's wider. And then I have a tool. I guess I could get it really quickly. I should have had it in my hand with this little tape literally a second. I use this T combination handle. So which one did I say, this one? How about this one? You want to go underneath the punching because you don't want to nick the, and now I'm going to take this and just give it a bend until the spacing is even between the two. So anyhow, while I'm doing level, I also do key angle and I do key spacing. That's all part of the package deal. So now I've decided that these keys need to be leveled. If I don't have that, if I have a lot of leveling to do, I'll do it in two passes. I'll do the naturals, get those leveled, check for high ones, you know, and if I'm down to just a few punchings on, I'll do both at the same time. So I say I've got a few punchings here. Now I'll take a look at the sharps and put punchings close to the sharps. Can you see from the video where I've got really low ones? Like there and there.
Which ones did you adjust?
This one, if you can see the space beneath the,
Oh, yeah.
and then this one.
Yeah.
And again, you know, I have to do this with my glasses off. I have to get really close. I really have to look. It's not just an automatic thing. I don't have my little auto creeper, but sometimes I use an auto creeper. So now I'm going to get on the bench. The punching's underneath my thumb. Get it in my hand. Tweezers. And this was in another video, but if your balance rail pins are dirty, it's really hard to get the punchings off, and then you need to clean the balance rail. And these were filthy. And I can tell some of that contaminant actually got into the punchings, and they're a little harder to lift up than they typically should be. Come on, come on. Yeah, this is a time you want to, and then I'm making sure my black dot's in the front to keep the punching oriented. And usually I can level, get a very accurate key level with 3 passes. And then, depending on the quality of the piano, it really will depend on how far you want to go with key level, because, you know, if the piano had started out really, really rough, you might improve the key level so much just with this green punching, which is 5/1000 being the most you do, or the orange thin tissue, which is 3/1000, and you don't need to do any more than that. And then with other pianos, you might want to go clear to the, you know, super, super thin tissues to get a really amazing. I'll do one more, and then we're going to check this. And you will have then witnessed how and yeah, I can tell there's contaminant inside these punchings, and that's why I'm working a little harder than I typically would to remove them. Let's check our work. So first, did I get any too high? I actually did. So, right here, did you see the motion? And maybe with the flag on it, you'll see it more. And I thought I saw another one. Well, I guess if I have to stare that hard, it's not that much of a problem. Now I'll check my sharps. Are any too high? And these look good. I will correct the one that's too high. And I'll get rid of the little white thing that was underneath it previously, and I'll leave the green that I put on it. Okay, fix that. And then, you know, you would look one more time. This time you'd probably be adding green and yellow punchings and repeat. And then, like I said, usually in 3 passes you'll have a key level.